Hi everyone, this is it once again translating for Whitera, and today we're going to take a look at a very cool FP VOD on the new map, a new ladder map, and the name of that map of course is Canyons of Marsar. This map is based on 4 players and it's really important to find your opponent really early on. This matchup of course is a PvT. We're going to scout standard, for me. We're going to scout after gateway, not after our pylon. Of course you can always scout after your pylon, but that's going to put you a little bit behind as far as your economy goes, and I prefer to scout after the gateway and get a little bit more minerals with that probe. And of course, if you do react correctly, even after scouting after the gateway, you can still hold off any kind of rush the Terran opponent can do. And all you have to do is manage your chrono boost correctly, and sometimes of course chrono boost your troop instead of chrono boosting your probes. That's a very important aspect of playing a PvT. Well, what can we say about the balance in this map? It's fairly new, so there weren't that many games, especially tournament games, so you know, it's a little bit new. But on the ladder it's played fairly often, and I think it's one of the more fun games. It's not bad. It's kind of bad for PvZ, because in a PvZ matchup it's very difficult to take an additional base and of course scout your opponent, because with speedlings the Zerg can really easily, you know, control the Zelnaga towers and see exactly what everybody's up to or what you're up to. But of course this matchup is not PvZ, it's PvT, so the dynamics of it are a little bit different. He's quite a strong player. He's about 4,300 rating in the Masters League. We're going to play standard against him. We're going to go 3 racks into an additional 3 gate into additional base, and then get a robotics. You know, you're going to have a great economy in case he tries to build his own base, and because of this, with the 2 chrono boosts, you can either push him or fight back any kind of attack he has. Of course, if he goes 2 racks and a lot of you know, Marines, Marauders, and SCVs, you're gonna have to cancel your Nexus. That's a very all-inner build from the Terran, and you definitely need to fight back from that. So right here, my probe scouts 2 Marines and no add-on on the barracks, and he's building another Marine. So either he's going for some sort of factory or starport opening, or he might be going for an expansion. So that really narrows down the kind of choices he has. He doesn't seem to be wanting to play with Marauders. He can't go for Fast Reaper either. He could also go for you know, a tank opening. Of course, we're going to scout with our Stalker later on and see what exactly he's got. You know, we don't want to relax at this point. We're going to concentrate, and with the Stalker we're going to go to the Zelnaga tower and we're going to see exactly what he's up to. Of course, we're chrono boosting our warp gate research. He tried to scout with his SCV, but of course my Stalker and Zella snipe it. And we built a pylon in this ridge right here, and that lets us warp in our units to our natural really easily, and we send that probe to sit at the expansion where we're gonna potentially build a Nexus based on what our Stalker sees. Now the map layout, there's only basically one entrance, this wide ramp here that leads to the opponent's main base, and we sent our Stalker to see if he's building an additional base, and we don't see it. So we build our Nexus as normally here, and we just leave our Stalker at the entrance of his base, so we can see exactly if our opponent is going to move out. Now I'm a little bit, you know, perplexed right here. My opponent isn't doing anything that I can really see. So right here, what we're going to do is we're going to add 3 sentries, and of course with the addition of the first sentry, we're going to have 4 sentries total, and that is all you're going to need for this matchup. Now my opponent scans me here, and it's really interesting that he's scanning here. Maybe he's trying to do some sort of a push, and he sees all 4 sentries, so he probably knows exactly what I'm up to. You know, he might not exactly know whether I got the Nexus yet, but he can see that you know, I do have quite a bit of minerals left over. Now, I see that he pushes out, and I see SCVs, and I see Marines, and I see a tank, and this is a very, all-in-ish pull my opponent is doing, so I just need to defend from this. So I try to use my Stalker to maybe delay his push a little bit, and I try to do as much damage as I can. I warp in, 2 more Stalkers, and right here I must use, of course, my sentries to use the Guardian Shield, because without the Guardian Shield you really can't fight back this attack. He has so many Marines and they shoot so quickly. Right here my opponent turns back as soon as my Guardian Shield is gone, but I reapply it and I push him back. Now he's got a second tank, so I need to pull back a little bit, and in the meantime I'm warping in 2 more Zealots because I lost those. He's probably going to have a third tank, and what's really important is to build an observer, and then based on that observer I'm building an immortal off that. Of course, that immortal is going to be very critical with dealing with tanks, especially if he has siege mode, which he happens to have. So right here I have to run back from this position. I just kill the Marines that he gives me, and then I have to run back. Unfortunately I lose a sentry and a Stalker right there. It's very scary, but I can't let the Terran lock me in my base, because if he gets an entrenched position I'm going to be very much in trouble. So my observer is scouting his position, of course, there, and as soon as my immortal gets there I'm going to see a position where I can attack. Now he scans, and he's very much committing to this attack by scanning my observer. That's the mule he doesn't have, and right here I attack quick with my Stalkers, and I focus fire my immortal on the tanks because it does tremendous damage to them. So right here, because of that very well-timed Guardian Shield and the immortal, we were right. We fought back our opponent, and based on the number of Marines I saw in the SCVs, I can surely say that my opponent doesn't have a command center, an extra command center. At this point, of course, it's a little bit annoying that I lost that observer, but the important thing is our second base is working. We have those chrono boosts available, and so on and so forth. And I just hope that the Terran, at this point when he attacked, he probably didn't build a command center. It's very much unlikely, because by the count of his troops it seemed not so. So he can either play catch up, and I'm very far ahead if he tries to if he tries to build an expansion, or he can try to go for an all-in. And I see a huge blob of troops moving in. It's a lot of workers, and that's basically the final all-in, and it's just really important to fight back this all-in well enough. And I have to take the battle. I have to move my immortals to attack the tanks, and my Zealots do actually end up shredding his Marines to death. And at this point, I killed all those SCVs. All I have to do is fight back this attack. I work in as many Stalkers as I can, and with my reinforcing troops, of course, I can basically kill my opponent's army, and he can do nothing but GG. So guys, thank you for watching this game. I hope that the standard 3-gate into expansion opening was very useful for you, and of course this was a great example on how to hold in from a very well placed all-in-ish attack from my Terran opponent. Thank you very much, and bye bye.